If you want to understand the boundaries of the universe, you must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Welcome to Nikola Tesla Files, the channel dedicated to uncovering the secrets and genius of history's greatest inventor. You can support me by liking and subscribing for more content. The night Tesla touched infinity. Picture this: a summer night in 1899, Colorado Springs. The air crackles with an energy that has nothing to do with the coming storm. Inside a strange wooden laboratory surrounded by coils that look like they belong to some ancient temple rather than a scientific facility, a man stands alone in the darkness. His eyes are closed, but he's seeing something, feeling something that no human being has felt before. Nikola Tesla is listening to the universe. But what does the universe sound like when it speaks? Around him, his equipment begins to hum with a frequency so low it's more felt than heard. The massive coils start to glow with an otherworldly blue-white light. And then, without warning, lightning bolts erupt from the tower outside. Not descending from the clouds, but rising from the earth itself, reaching toward the heavens like fingers of light trying to touch the face of God. Tesla isn't generating this electricity through conventional means. He's tapping into something else entirely, something that flows through the cosmos like an invisible ocean, waiting for someone brilliant or mad enough to learn how to drink from it. This is the story of how one man attempted to harness the infinite energy of the universe itself, and how close he actually came to succeeding, the vision that changed everything. Tesla's obsession with cosmic energy didn't begin in a laboratory. It began with a vision, literally. In 1881, while walking through a park in Budapest at sunset, Tesla experienced what he would later describe as a moment of cosmic consciousness. He was reciting passages from Goethe's Faust when suddenly, the entire universe seemed to open up before him. In that instant, he understood that everything, the trees, the ground beneath his feet, the air he breathed, the sunset painting the sky, was connected by invisible streams of energy flowing through and around everything in existence. But this wasn't just a mystical experience. Tesla's trained scientific mind immediately began to translate this vision into practical mechanics. If energy flowed through everything, then the universe itself must be one vast interconnected electrical system. And if you could find the right frequency, the right resonance, you could tap into that system and draw unlimited power from it. Most scientists would have dismissed such thoughts as the fantasy of an overactive imagination. But Tesla had something they didn't: the ability to actually test his theories. What he discovered would challenge everything humanity thought it knew about energy, space, and the very fabric of reality itself. The hidden architecture of reality. Tesla's experiments revealed something extraordinary. Empty space isn't empty at all. The vacuum of space, what we call nothing, is actually seething with energy. Modern quantum physics calls this the zero-point energy field, or quantum vacuum energy. But Tesla had discovered and named it decades earlier. He called it radiant energy. Imagine the universe as an infinite ocean of energy, vibrating at frequencies beyond human perception. Every atom, every particle, every living thing is like a whirlpool in this ocean. A temporary concentration of energy that appears solid but is really just a pattern in the universal flow. Tesla realized that this ocean of energy wasn't just theoretical, it was accessible. Just as a hydroelectric dam taps into the flow of water, you could build a device that taps into the flow of cosmic energy. The key was understanding the frequencies at which this energy operates. Through countless experiments, Tesla discovered that the universe operates on specific harmonic frequencies. These aren't random, they follow mathematical patterns that appear throughout nature, from the spiral of galaxies to the structure of DNA. Tesla believed these patterns were the language of the universe, and if you could learn to speak that language, you could command the very forces of creation. But here's where things get truly strange. Tesla claimed that this cosmic energy wasn't just mindless force, it was intelligent. Or at least, it responded to intelligence in ways that suggested some form of awareness. Was Tesla suggesting that the universe itself is conscious? That's exactly what he was suggesting. The Colorado Springs experiment, opening the portal. When Tesla arrived in Colorado Springs in 1899, he wasn't just building a larger version of his previous experiments. He was attempting something that had never been done in human history, to create a direct connection between Earth and the cosmos, turning the entire planet into a receiver for universal energy. His experimental station was designed with geometric precision that would have made the ancient pyramid builders proud. Every measurement, every angle, every coil placement was calculated to resonate with specific cosmic frequencies. The main tower stood 200 feet tall, topped with a copper sphere that gleamed like a miniature planet against the Colorado sky. But the real magic happened underground. Tesla had constructed a series of tunnels and chambers beneath the station, going down over 100 feet into the earth. These weren't just foundations. They were designed to channel the Earth's own electromagnetic field, creating what Tesla called a terrestrial connection to the universal energy grid. On the night of July 3, 1899, Tesla activated his equipment for the first time at full power. What happened next was witnessed by dozens of people in Colorado Springs and remains one of the most documented yet unexplained events in scientific history. The machinery began to hum at frequencies that made the air itself seem to vibrate. The coils glowed with increasing intensity, cycling through colors that witnesses described as not quite natural. Blues and violets that seemed to contain more hues than the human eye should be able to perceive. Then the lightning came, not from the storm clouds, but from the tower itself, arcing upward in massive bolts that split the night sky. But here's the impossible part. These lightning bolts were continuous, sustained streams of electrical discharge that lasted for hours. Natural lightning lasts milliseconds. Tesla's lightning seemed to be drilling a hole through the atmosphere itself. Witnesses reported that the light from the tower could be seen for miles, and that the electrical effects extended far beyond the immediate area. Light bulbs in homes across Colorado Springs glowed even though they weren't connected to any power source. Horses in fields miles away sparked with static electricity, and more than one person reported feeling a strange tingling sensation, as if the very air had become charged with an energy that penetrated flesh and bone. But Tesla saw something else. Something he initially kept to himself because he knew how it would sound. As the power reached its peak, he claimed he began receiving signals. Not random electromagnetic noise, but patterns. Sequences that repeated with mathematical precision. Intelligence. Tesla became convinced he was receiving communications from Mars. The signals from beyond. Before you dismiss Tesla as having lost his mind, consider what modern scientists have discovered about the universe. We now know that space is filled with electromagnetic radiation at every frequency imaginable. Pulsars send out regular radio signals. Quasars blast out energy across vast distances. The cosmic microwave background radiation carries information about the birth of the universe itself. Tesla's equipment was sensitive enough to detect these signals decades before we had radio telescopes. But was he really receiving messages from extraterrestrial intelligence? Or was he detecting natural cosmic phenomena that his brilliant but eccentric mind interpreted as communication? Here's what we know for certain. Tesla recorded sequences of signals that appeared to follow mathematical progressions, patterns of 1, 2, 3, and higher numbers repeated at precise intervals. These weren't random fluctuations in his equipment. They showed clear structure and organization. Tesla believed these signals were attempts at communication from an advanced civilization. He spent months trying to decode them, looking for patterns within patterns, seeking meaning in the mathematical relationships between frequencies. But there's another interpretation that's even more intriguing. What if Tesla was detecting the fundamental information structure of the universe itself? Modern physics suggests that information might be the most basic component of reality, more fundamental even than energy or matter. Some theories propose that the universe is essentially a vast computational system, processing information at the quantum level. Could Tesla have been detecting the code underlying physical reality? Was the universe quite literally talking to him in the language of mathematics? We may never know the true nature of the signals Tesla received, but what happened next suggests he learned something from them, something that allowed him to take his experiments to an entirely new level, extracting energy from the void. After his Colorado Springs experiments, Tesla became obsessed with what he called extracting energy from the ambient medium. He was no longer content with generating electricity through conventional means. He wanted to tap directly into the ocean of energy that permeates all of space. His notes from this period are fascinating and cryptic. He describes devices that could condense the ambient energy and convert it into usable electrical current. He sketches apparatus that look more like mystical symbols than electrical circuits. And he makes claims that sound absolutely impossible. Devices that could run indefinitely without fuel, drawing all their power from the structure of space itself. One of Tesla's most intriguing inventions from this period was what he called the radiant energy receiver. This device consisted of a highly polished metal plate suspended above the ground and insulated from it, connected to one side of a capacitor while the other side was grounded. According to Tesla, this simple setup could capture energy directly from the ambient electromagnetic field and store it in the capacitor. When tested, the device actually worked. The capacitor would charge up even in complete darkness, even inside a Faraday cage that blocked all external electromagnetic radiation. Something was generating electrical potential in the system, and that something appeared to be the empty space itself. Modern attempts to replicate Tesla's radiant energy receivers have produced mixed results. Some experimenters claim to have successfully built devices that generate small amounts of electricity from ambient sources. Others dismiss these results as measurement errors or conventional electromagnetic induction. But the fact remains, Tesla demonstrated something that challenged conventional understanding of where energy comes from: the sacred geometry of energy. As Tesla's experiments progressed, he became increasingly convinced that the key to cosmic energy extraction lay in geometry. Not just any geometry, but what ancient mystics called sacred geometry. the mathematical patterns that appear throughout nature and seem to embody fundamental principles of creation. Tesla noticed that certain geometric configurations produced dramatically enhanced energy effects. Pyramidal shapes, spiral patterns, and specific angular relationships between components would amplify the amount of energy his devices could extract from space. This led him to a controversial conclusion. The universe isn't just governed by physical laws, it's structured according to mathematical and geometric principles that bridge the gap between matter and consciousness. The same geometric patterns that create stable matter are also the patterns that consciousness uses to organize experience. In Tesla's view, this meant that a properly designed device could serve as a bridge between the physical and the mental, allowing human consciousness to directly interact with and manipulate the energy field of the cosmos. This is where Tesla's work enters truly mystical territory. He began to suggest that the ultimate energy source wasn't just the electromagnetic field or the quantum vacuum. It was consciousness itself. The universal mind, the cosmic intelligence that some call God, was the true infinite energy source, and everything else was just a manifestation of that primary creative force. Does this sound more like mysticism than science? Perhaps. But consider that modern physics has discovered something remarkably similar. The observer effect in quantum mechanics suggests that consciousness plays a fundamental role in determining physical reality. Some interpretations of quantum theory propose that consciousness might be a fundamental feature of the universe, as basic as space and time. Tesla might have been onto something profound, a principle that unites science and spirituality in a way that Western thought has struggled to achieve. The device that was never built. In Tesla's final years, living in poverty in a New York hotel room, he claimed to have perfected his designs for a cosmic energy receiver. He called it his apparatus for the utilization of radiant energy, and according to his notes, it could provide unlimited power to any location on Earth. But this device was never built. Or at least that's the official story. Tesla's papers from his final years mysteriously disappeared after his death in 1943. The FBI seized his documents, claiming national security concerns. Most of these papers were eventually released, but researchers note significant gaps in the records. Certain experiments, certain designs, certain discoveries are simply missing from the archive. What happened to Tesla's final work on cosmic energy? There are several possibilities, each more intriguing than the last. Perhaps the technology actually worked, and it was suppressed by interests that profit from conventional energy sources. Free energy from the cosmos would destroy the entire energy industry overnight. Perhaps the government secretly developed the technology for classified military applications. The ability to power equipment anywhere, without fuel or conventional power sources, would be a tremendous military advantage. Or perhaps, and this is the most mystical interpretation, Tesla's final designs required not just technical knowledge but spiritual development. Perhaps the device would only work for someone who had achieved a certain level of consciousness, a certain resonance with the universal energy field. Tesla himself hinted at this possibility. In one of his final interviews, he suggested that his inventions were gifts from a higher source, and that humanity would only be able to use them when it had evolved to the point of wisdom and compassion necessary to wield such power responsibly. The legacy lives on. Today, decades after Tesla's death, researchers around the world continue to explore the principles he discovered. Zero-point energy research, though controversial, has produced intriguing results that suggest Tesla's basic insights were correct. There is indeed vast amounts of energy in the quantum vacuum, and under certain conditions, it might be possible to extract usable power from it. Companies and independent inventors claim to have developed devices that produce more energy than they consume, drawing the difference from ambient sources. Most of these claims are dismissed by mainstream science, yet the sheer number of reports and the persistence of these researchers suggests there might be something real behind at least some of these experiments. More importantly, Tesla's vision of a universe filled with accessible energy has inspired generations of scientists and inventors to think beyond conventional limitations. His belief that we don't need to burn fossil fuels or split atoms to power our civilization, that we need only learn to tap into the energy that surrounds us, remains a powerful and hopeful vision for humanity's future. The question that remains, standing at the intersection of science and mysticism, technology and consciousness, Tesla posed a question that humanity still hasn't fully answered. What if the universe is not a dead mechanism running down toward heat death, but a living system of infinite creative potential, waiting for us to learn how to consciously participate in its energy flow? Tesla believed that every human being is a receiver and transmitter of cosmic energy. We're not separate from the universal energy field. We are that field, temporarily organized into patterns we call bodies and minds. And if we could fully realize this truth, if we could align our consciousness with the fundamental frequencies of the cosmos, we would have access to unlimited energy, unlimited knowledge, unlimited creative potential. This wasn't just a scientific theory for Tesla. It was a spiritual vision, a glimpse of what humanity could become if we evolved beyond our current limitations. The equipment has been dismantled. The towers have fallen. The laboratories are gone. But the energy Tesla sought to harness, that ocean of cosmic power that flows through every point in space, remains. Still there, still accessible, still waiting for someone with the vision and courage to learn how to tap into it. Perhaps that someone is reading these words right now. Perhaps you are the one who will finally realize Tesla's dream of bringing cosmic energy to humanity. The universe is speaking. The question is, are you listening? Remember what Tesla taught us. If you want to understand the boundaries of the universe, you must think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything else is just details.